The bodies of U.S. Commerce Secretary Ron Brown and 32 others were recovered this morning from the Croatian hillside where their military plane crashed yesterday. Croatian officials say a temporary morgue has been set up at the airport in Dubrovnik, where the plane was attempting to land when it went down yesterday. Brown's death has shaken the Clinton administration, and today world leaders are praising the man and his accomplishments. Jean Meserve has the story.
Harlem was home for Ron Brown. His father managed a hotel right across the street from the famed Apollo Theater. But Brown spent much of his life in white environments, pushing open doors that had been shut to African Americans. His Middlebury College roommate recalls how Brown integrated the school's fraternity system.
It was before the big civil rights movements where people focused on it. So in looking back at it, we're pleased with it.
He was the first black partner at the Washington law firm of Patton, Boggs & Blow, and the first black to lead the Democratic National Committee, but only after a long and difficult fight.
It was a first, and while people were not questioning his credentials, they found other things to question. I had a talk with him once just outside of the floor of Congress and watched the real pain in his heart.
Brown made his first foray into national politics working on the 1980 presidential campaign of Senator Edward Kennedy. And in 1988, he was a top player in Jesse Jackson's bid for the White House. As chairman of the Democratic National Committee, he earned much of the credit for Bill Clinton's 1992 victory.
When Clinton was nominated, he had in place an organization and money for the party that other candidates usually had to raise and put in place after the nominating convention. That made a tremendous difference in 1992.
Brown was rewarded with the post of Commerce Secretary. He traveled often and far on the hunt for overseas business.
Ron Brown is the greatest trade emissary that we've ever had. His judgment and experience in opening markets to American business overseas, building economic relationships in this changing post-Cold War world were unequaled in the government of the United States.
There were allegations of financial improprieties, allegations Brown denied before a congressional committee.
I'm confident that I will be totally exonerated of these ridiculous and absurd charges.
Brown was cleared of one set of allegations. Another investigation is incomplete. At the 1992 Democratic Convention, Ron Brown reflected on where his life had taken him.
You gave me the chance to demonstrate what my mother and my father always taught me to believe, that in America, a kid from Harlem can go anywhere, do anything, even become chairman of the greatest party in the history of democracy.
A long trip from Harlem, indeed. Jean Meserve, CNN, Washington.
According to the Air Force, the plane involved in yesterday's fatal crash was used by Hillary Rodham Clinton and her daughter Chelsea during their recent trip to Bosnia. That plane, a T-43A, was also used by Defense Secretary William Perry during his recent tour of the former Yugoslavia.